Wednesday, January 26th edition of the Carolina Weather Video, and still seeing this storm system impact much of the region. It's been a pretty dynamic system, producing anything from severe weather down in Florida yesterday. I'll start off taking a look at that, to rain and snow, and I'll kind of get into all that here as we go through the course of today's video. Let's start off with that storm report map from yesterday and last night. Some really nasty storms. It was pretty good severe weather outbreak in parts of Florida. A couple reports of tornadoes, at least one formal report, and a pretty good number of wind damage reports as that system roared on through. Now, this is the radar snapshot, 5:15 this morning, and it's pretty interesting to note there was actually some lightning and thunder with this activity down in parts of South Carolina. And just showing you some of the instability involved with this upper air features it's pulling on in. And notice there's the rain-snow line at 5:15. So when I go to this radar perspective, all of this precipitation you see here, roughly, is in the form of snow. All right, so Nashville, Louisville, seeing snow, and that big blob of precip will continue to gradually develop east-northeast. And kind of show you the general outline here. There's the watch, warning, and advisory product, all those white shaded counties, some type of winter weather product. Generally winter storm warnings running, see if I can draw this relatively well, in this area. Most of that is winter storm warnings. Surrounding that, northern foothills, that's winter weather advisory. Surrey, Wilkes County, that winter weather advisory. All right, and here's the general idea. I haven't really changed this, just adjusted it a bit, but here's the snow accumulation potential with this. Anybody really down to I-85, maybe even the northwest parts of the triangle, could see a few wet snowflakes involved at the tail end of this system. But the strip of really significant accumulating snow is off to the northwest of most of North Carolina. Now, the exception to that is the mountains. The mountains are going to get a pretty good wet snow out of this. And even down into Surrey, Wilkes County, and maybe even a couple of the other Virginia border counties could get an inch or two of snow on the ground. But the strip of really heavy snow runs, let me draw that better. The strip of the heavier accumulating snow runs from the mountains and then on up into the big cities of southern New England. And that's going to be maybe a 5 to 10 inch type of snow once you get up to D.C. and Baltimore, maybe 4 to 8 inches around New York City and in New Jersey there. So that's the general idea here. There's the HPC's probability of at least 4 inches of snow. So you get the idea of where this snow area is headed. Temperatures this morning, well above freezing across really all of the region. Even the mountains at the beginning of the day were above freezing. Here's the surface chart, and kind of that double-barreled low-pressure action, one centered over the mountains, another near the Carolina coast. This one will take over and become the main low as it lifts up off of the New England coast. But the main feature here is the upper air low, and that is really a pocket of cold air loft that's driving that precipitation off to the west, and that'll continue moving off to the east-northeast. So I wanted to show you this. This is what the WRF puts out in terms of snow accumulation. Notice the mountains get a pretty good bit of snow with this, and some spotty light snow accumulations around the Virginia border. But definitely it's Tennessee, Kentucky, and then on up into the Virginias that the most significant strip of accumulating snow occurs, and of course into the mountains of North Carolina. There's the upper air chart, that upper air feature pivoting overhead today. So we have this band of precip moving on through. So for the Piedmont areas, rain showers developing back in this morning. And then as you get I-40 and points north, some wet snowflakes could be involved. I think the best accumulating potential, though, northern foothills, and then certainly up into the mountains and points north from there as this system pulls on through. So there is an 8 and 6 hour increments. And notice as we get into tonight, that area of heavier snow moving through southern New England. 6 hours later, or 12 hours later, by afternoon tomorrow, the system's gone. Really a pretty good looking day tomorrow. A lot of sunshine, highs in the 40s for much of the Piedmont. By Friday, we could get up into the 50s. Now, the weekend looks really nice. Let me go back to Friday real quick. I need to mention that still some modeling is putting out some very light precipitation Friday. I've still left it out of the formal forecast for the Piedmont, but can't rule out maybe a few sprinkles Friday, but that'll be probably about it. All right, Saturday looks good. Highs well up into the 50s on Saturday. Sunday probably lower side of the 50s. Partly cloudy sky both of those days. Now, the models really kind of diverge as we get into next week. Here's the GFS, Monday and Tuesday. And what happens with the GFS is kind of overwhelms the northern stream energy and plunges the cold air in here by Tuesday of next week. Not the case in the European. European brings a weak system in here Monday, and then by Tuesday, you notice the main parent low with this is way up here in the Great Lakes region. Big-time feed of warm air ahead of it, and that's kind of a mild rain-producing system on Tuesday. Now, the GFS didn't really have much of anything Monday into Tuesday. Canadian is a colder solution, and the Canadian actually has the surface low right there as we get into Monday evening, and the freezing line up at 5,000 feet. Well, let me see if I can draw that a little better. The freezing line up at 5,000 feet is roughly in that area, somewhere around that area. So, taken verbatim, the Canadian actually brings a little bit of a wintry precip, especially I-40 and points north Monday night into Tuesday with this system. The GFS is also colder like the Canadian, but again, the European much warmer, and so taken verbatim, this could be a little bit of light wintry precip initially on the European late Monday, but then kicking over to a mild rain-producing system before we get into the colder air later next week. The European does get as cold, but it's much later on in the week. General idea for the rest of the kind of extended period, the P&A generally staying positive. Are we going to get a big brutal shot of cold air in there sometime? Possibly. I don't see any signs of any above average temperatures though anytime soon. General ridging near the west coast right on into the first week or two of February. And I don't see any extended warmth really any time soon at all. So a lot of winter left to go. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day here on this Wednesday, and God bless.